Veteran NBA coach Doc Rivers called their relationship a travesty. Phil Jackson called Kobe an angry rebel. And Jackson's assistant, Tex Winter, couldn't understand the conflict between the two. But how did the beef between Kobe and Shaq get so nasty? We would have to go back to the beginning to understand this. After getting swept in the playoffs 3 times with the Orlando Magic, Shaq knew it was time for a new chapter. Add to that Magic's inability to meet his contract demands. He opted for the Lakers, who offered him the juiciest contract in NBA history at the time, worth $120 million. As the Lakers completed Shaq's signing that year in July 1996, they had already added 18-year-old Kobe Bryant to the roster, who had just signed for the Lakers from high school. It was the first of its kind for a guard, birthing a new era for the Lakers. All seemed well until Shaq made this comment about Kobe, telling reporters, "I'm not going to be babysitting." That statement was a sign of things to come, a bitter struggle between two people that wanted to be alpha males in the same team. That almost ruined everything. Kobe first greeted his Lakers teammate with arrogance, boldly expressing that he was the best player in the team even before they played any real game together. The entire team had traveled to Hawaii for a training camp at the time, and then coach of the Lakers, Del Harris, had asked his guys to introduce themselves individually. Everyone had made normal intros, and even Shaq had said, quote, "What's up? I'm Shaq. Let's do this." But here comes rookie Kobe, who shocked everyone when he said, "Yo, I'm Kobe. Kobe Bryant. I'm from Pennsylvania. Went to Lower Marion High School. Dominated everything. I just want y'all to know, nobody's gonna punk me. I'm not gonna let anyone in the NBA punk me. So be warned." This attitude irritated Shaq and his teammates, who felt he was stuck up, self-centered, and arrogant. Shaq even started calling Kobe a showboat in Hollywood before they even shared a court together. But it wasn't like O'Neal was free from cockiness. He once said this in the Lakers' locker room after a win: "No one can outsurf me. I am the big kahuna." Still, they both managed a stellar season as they made it to the conference semifinals, during which the Jazz were up 3-1 in Game 5, and Shaq fouled out with 1:46 left in the fourth quarter. It was now up to the young Kobe to take charge, but Kobe failed to find the net, registering 4 air balls in the final minutes of the game. The Jazz ran away with a 98-93 win. At the end of the game, O'Neal wrapped his arm around Kobe and assured him that he would get another chance to right his wrong. The 1997-98 season ended pretty much the same. Kobe didn't get much time and averaged 15 points per game. Shaq did, and was the Lakers' best player after averaging 28 points and 11 rebounds. But in the playoffs, they were swept by the Utah Jazz in the Western Conference Finals. But more importantly, there were no recorded fights between Kobe and Shaq. A good thing until, for much of the following season, the NBA locked out its players due to issues with players' salaries. This led to players playing pickup games at sports clubs and gymnasiums, and showing up at colleges to play meaningless games. On one fateful day, after an article on LA Times had called Kobe Prince of the City, Kobe and Shaq arrived at Southwest College to partake in a 2-on-2 scrimmage. They were on different teams, but whenever Shaq would miss, he would call a foul. This angered Kobe, who said, "I'm tired of this shit. Just play." Shaq replied hotly, "One more comment like that and I slap the shit out of you." The two continued to engage in a back and forth about who, quote-unquote, owned the Lakers team, while Shaq threatened to have him traded off. Kobe wouldn't back down, and they continued to exchange words after scoring a basket until Shaq slapped Kobe across the face for real. A fight breaks out between the two and could only be broken off by O'Neal's bodyguard, Jerome Crawford. Their feud was reflected in their play as the NBA games resumed. The Lakers will strike out early in the playoffs that year after getting swept by the Spurs in the second round. Shaq and Kobe may be at each other's throats. Kobe wanted to be the main man, while Shaq complained Kobe was the reason for the team's failures owing to his selfishness. However, they were able to agree on something the following season. Both Shaq and Bryant agreed on NBA coach Phil Jackson to take over the reins at the Lakers. The 6-time NBA champion was given a 5-year contract by the Lakers, Lakers after he ended his stint with the Bulls. Jackson favored building his team around O'Neal. A wrist injury saw Kobe miss the first 15 games of the season, and the team had enough time to gel under Phil in his absence. Upon his return, Kobe bought into Phil's tactics. He took a back seat, allowing Shaq to shine. Kobe's realization that he was still young and could one day lead the team prompted his decision to become less selfish and give Shaq the spotlight. He said this somewhere down the line when Shaq comes to me and says, "Kobe, I don't want to have to put up the big numbers every night. You've got to help me out. I'll be ready." When I'm 28, Shaq will be, 40? Point is, my time will come. With the big man the focal point of the team, the Lakers went on a 67-15 run while Shaq won the NBA Most Valuable Player award for the first time. But despite an amazing season, Shaq wasn't impressed and quickly reminded everyone that the worst of their beef was yet to come when he said this during a team meeting. "I have something to say. I think Kobe is playing too selfishly for us to win." Nevertheless, the Lakers continued their dominance in the playoffs. As usual, Phil's triangle offense proved to be too hot to handle for NBA teams. Shaq and Co. combined to breeze past the Sacramento Kings and the Phoenix Sun in the playoffs. A dramatic win over the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 7 saw both Kobe and Shaq put aside their rift as they combined to put the Trail Blazers to the sword. Yet the Indiana Pacers stood between Shaq and Kobe and their first ever NBA title together. This time, Phil had both Shaq and Kobe command the floor at different times during the 6 playoff games. The Lakers went on to defeat the Pacers and clinch their first title since 1988. And although Kobe embraced O'Neal, they still shared some anonymity off the court. Following season, Shaq continued to celebrate his first championship win and showed up to training camp chubby and out of shape. He had been partying and eating junk throughout the offseason. As expected, Jackson and Kobe weren't amused at Shaq's lackadaisical attitude towards his job. During their one-on-one sit-down many years later, Shaq said that while he was busy eating burgers, Kobe was in the gym working his butt off 10 hours a day. They both laughed it off, but at that time it wasn't funny. While Kobe was having a remarkable season, Shaq was struggling. He was shooting below 50% and his free throw percentage was 20. He didn't see his struggles as his fault, but complained that the tactics had been changed to affect his productivity negatively. January 2001, Shaq told reporters, "When it was clear that everything went through me, the outcome of it was a record of 67-15, playing with enthusiasm, the city jumping up and down in a parade. And now we're 23-11. You figure it out. I don't know why anybody else would want to change, other than selfish reasons." Bryant responded with this: "Things change, things evolve, and you just have to grow with that change." Their hostilities reached boiling point when Kobe scored 38 to Shaq's 18 in the Lakers' blowout win over the Phoenix Suns. O'Neal threatened to leave the Lakers by requesting a trade. He was getting tired of Bryant leading the NBA at 29.6 points per game and shooting the ball 171 times more than him. As far as he was concerned, Kobe was back to his selfish ways, and he couldn't sit there and take that crap. However, Shaq soon became the main man with Kobe out injured. The Lakers continued to play around Kobe after he returned, and they successfully defended their title for the second time. The 2001 to 2002 season would see them do the three-peat with less off-the-court drama. They won their third championship in a row by sweeping the New Jersey Nets, with Shaq winning his third Finals MVP in a row. But they soon resumed their bad blood the next season. Phil had warned the pair to stay away from interviews, tongue-lashing one another. However, Kobe did an interview with Jim Gray where he called out Shaq for not taking his job seriously and showing up to work fat and unfit, as well as milking his toe problem to avoid playing. This infuriated Shaq, who threatened to kill him. "If you ever say anything like what you said to Jim Gray ever again, I will kill you," Shaq said categorically. 2003 to 2004 season will prove to be the last time both players worked together, as tensions emotions reached breaking point. Despite all of the drama, the team managed to make it to the NBA Final where they lost in 5 games to the Detroit Pistons. At the end of the season, Phil Jackson had had enough. Shaq asked for a trade to the Heat, but Bryant was offered a new contract. The 2005 to 2006 NBA season saw O'Neal and Kobe sheath their swords briefly. Both players now represented different teams. Without O'Neal, Bryant had the spotlight and posted an 81-point game against the Raptors. However, O'Neal combined with Dwayne Wade to help the Miami Heat to their first ever NBA title. In the following years, they toned down their friction. But after the Lakers lost to the Celtics in the 2008 NBA Finals, O'Neal rapped about Kobe not being able to win it without him. The duo squashed their beef as they reunited at the 2009 All-Star Games. Both were named All-Star co-MVPs. They were seen shaking hands and smiling from ear to ear. Kobe then went on to win his 4th ring later that year, tying Shaq's 4 rings. O'Neal expressed support for him when he tweeted, "That's right, I'm saying it today and today only. I want Kobe Bryant to get number 4. Spread the word." The following year saw Kobe do the double and win his 5th ring. When asked how he felt about winning the ring, he said this,
"Just got one more than Shaq." So you can take that to the bank.
Yet Shaq congratulated him on Twitter saying, "Congratulations, Kobe, you deserve it. You played great. Enjoy it, man, enjoy it. I know what you're saying, Shaq, how my ass taste." But O'Neal later admitted that he tore his house up after seeing Kobe win his 5th ring. Both players were at each other's throats throughout their careers. They had a mutual respect for each other's talent. Even though they later moved on from their hatred of one another, the Kobe versus Shaq beef still remains the nastiest in NBA history. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.